Hello beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel, Expectations Unknown. I am your host, Desiree. I want y'all to know I have tried to record this video multiple times and something has gone wrong every time. So I'm going to try to do this again and try to get through this as quickly as possible. But please understand and be patient with me. This show has left me and my thoughts in shambles. So that is why this reaction review is kind of going to be all over the place, because mind blown. So again, we're here to talk about The Polygamist. The Polygamist main characters, I guess everyone's kind of like a main character because everyone's story is intertwined with each other. So we follow this successful businessman, Jonas Gomorrah, and his family. We are introduced to his wife, Joyce. Joyce is a personality, an influencer, I guess you can say, a very successful one, on her own, and they have two beautiful children, Mpume and Myyyyyy. And they have a third one. I can't think of the baby's name, but they live in a nice, beautiful home. They have help around the house. They are well-to-do. We are introduced to Jonas and his side piece, Matipa, side piece at the time, Matipa, because we see Joyce go to the home that Jonas and Matipa share, and tell him that he better show up at their 20th anniversary, their vow renewal. Like, she's telling him, I'm not playing these games with you. Here's the invitation. You're going to show up. At this point, Jonas has been out of the marital family home for a year because he's been living with Matipa. Matipa is fed up with the shenanigans, and she's like, yo, when are you just going to divorce this lady? If you want to be with me and you're saying that you just want to be with me, divorce her so that we can have our life together. So we are kind of led to believe that Joyce is absolutely insane, out of her mind, because it's like, why won't you let this man go? Because Joyce is refusing to sign the divorce paper. She's like, no. We're going through with our vow renewal. I've invited everyone. Everyone is going to be there, so show up and basically don't embarrass me. Don't embarrass us. And again, Matifa's like, if y'all not together, why can't you just divorce her? So Joyce loses her mind when she is served divorce papers, and how she makes herself feel better is she goes to Jonas and Matipa's house and sets it on fire. It's not funny. I'm not laughing at the violence. I'm just thinking, how gone do you have to be mentally to be like, I'm so blinded? And when I say gone, I mean like how angry, how blinded by rage would you have to be to leave your home, drive to another person's home, walk in, set it ablaze, and walk out? I'm just trying to figure that out, because me personally, I don't think I care that much. Now, granted, we're talking about 20 years of your life with someone, so I guess, sure, fine, whatever. Let's get past it. So, Joyce ends up being arrested, and she's in jail. While she's in jail, she meets another young lady who's going on about her life story. It seems insignificant at the time, but it will later come back to being a very significant interaction that Joyce and this young lady are having. Joyce is released from jail because Jonas comes and bails her out, and we kind of like fast forward to their anniversary party. Joyce is standing there looking super miserable, because you can tell things aren't going how she would necessarily want it to go, because Jonas isn't there yet, but everyone else is there. And you can see the crowd starting to talk like, yo, where's Jonas at? Like, are they still good? Before Jonas shows up, Myyyyyy shows up. I'm sorry, I missed the part. Before we get to the party, we are in a scene with Jonas and Joyce in the car after Jonas has bailed Joyce out. And Jonas is like, you just need to sign the divorce papers. Jonas is making it explicitly clear he does not want to be with Joyce anymore. He's like, I'm moving on with my life. I'm moving on with Myyyyyy, but I don't want to be with you anymore. Sign these papers. Joyce is like, no. Eventually, she's like, all right, you know what? Since it's important to you, I'm going to sign the papers, but I'll sign the papers after this party. So the terms and conditions are you come to this party and I'll sign the papers afterwards. I guess Jonas left that part out because Myyyyyy shows up to the party in all red, like ready to show out. Right before Myyyyyy can approach Joyce about anything, Jonas walks in. They proceed with their anniversary party. Everything is fine. Anniversary party is over. Jonas takes Joyce home and she's like, all right, I'm gonna sign the papers. After she signed the papers, this man pulls her in and starts kissing her and then moves back into the marital and family home. And I guess he did this because at the anniversary party, Myyyyyy approached him and was like, yo, like, what's the holdup? And I guess he ain't like that. So he decided, because he didn't like what Myyyyyy did, he's going to go back home. So Joyce is looking at him like, you've been gone for a while. Like, how am I to trust this? Like, this doesn't make any sense. Even his own children are like, yo, dad, you've been gone for a year, my guy. What are you talking about? You trying to come in and have a Sunday dinner like we always do, like a tradition. What tradition? Where you been at? You ain't been here. So whatever. Go on about your life. So, at this family barbecue, we see Joyce's mom, who kind of gets on my nerves, Joyce's mom, her children, and then we are introduced to Gesh, who is Jonas's brother, Essie, who we believe is Gesh's wife, and Gesh's children, who are Freedom and Sarah. Essie comes off. We even met Essie at the anniversary celebration, and Essie just seems like she is disgusted. She seems like she is a functioning alcoholic. Essie seems super outspoken, and it seems like she really hates Joyce. So you're looking like, yo, sis, like, why do you hate this lady so much? We later on find out the reason Essie has such a disdain for Joyce is because Essie is also Jonas's wife. So, real quick, Jonas has a wife, a second wife, and a side chick. So much happening. Again, some of this is going to be out of order, and I apologize again because it's in shambles and my brain is still trying to digest and process the shenanigans that took place in the show. Because when I tell you ridiculousness all around the board, 1,000,000% ridiculousness all around the board. So now that Jonas is back home with Joyce is like, how do I know that you're not going to step out again? How do I know that you're going to leave this lady alone? Like, how do I know, basically? And Jonas is like, you got to take my word for it, I promise. So things seemingly fall back into normal. At this point, Joyce doesn't know about Essie yet, and she thinks that he's done with Matipa. So Joyce is thinking they're back in love again. They're happily ever after. They've gone on a vacation to renew and rekindle and blah, 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 blah. Joyce has a pregnancy scare. And though she's not pregnant, she realized, you know what, I don't know if I want to have any more children, because when I think back, he started messing with Matipa around the time that I gave birth to our last child. And because I guess she didn't feel like she bounced back quick enough or whatever the case may be, she felt like having another child would leave an opening for him to either go back to Matipa or go find someone new. And she didn't want to risk any of that. Because, again, if anything, Joyce is like, I'm protecting my family. Whatever I got to do to keep my family a family, I'm protecting my family. So, she decides to be sterilized. And she schedules the procedure for around the time that Jonas has to go to America for what she believes is a business deal. So she's in the hospital. And she decides not to go through with the procedure because she's like, you know what, even though it's like my body, my choice type situation, this is a really big deal to not talk to my husband about it. So I'm going to forget about it. So the doctor comes in. The doctor is like, are you ready? And Joyce is looking like, I'm dressed, so I'm not going to go through with it. And the doctor, messy boots, slips up. He didn't even slip up. That was 1,000,000% intentional. The doctor is like, oh, the Gomorrah women are like doing a hospital in today, or like something along those lines. Just like, what are you talking about? He's like, we have Mrs. Gomorrah here, or like alludes to like them giving birth, or another woman there with the name Mrs. Gomorrah is there to give birth. Joyce takes off in the hospital because, again, in her mind, Jonas is in the United States trying to handle a business deal. Guess what, y'all? Jonas not in the United States. He's in the hospital because guess who just had twins? Matipa. Guess who falls down and falls on the floor? Joyce. So because Joyce now has figured out that Matipa is not going anywhere and Jonas isn't going to let Matipa go anywhere, she's like, listen, because it's part of our culture, why don't you go ahead and add her as the second wife? We'll figure it out. So they go on with it. But let me go back real quick. Matipa is fresh home from the hospital with these two babies. Her mother is there. She don't have no help. It's just her mom. Again, she's fresh from the hospital after having twins. Don't you know this disgusting bastard of a man, Jonas, is going to tell her, why don't you please me real quick? When I tell you, no ma'am, not happening. You mean to tell me I just gave birth to your children? You drop me off so that you can go back home to your wife to go check on her. I have to call my mom to come sit with me and your two fresh newborn babies. And you want me to give you some dome real quick? That lets you know, again, how much of a disgusting creature in character this man is. I almost said something else. he makes me so mad. So anyway, they're now a polyfamily. Jonas has 2 wives. I forget what happens, but it comes out that Essie, who we thought was married to Jonas's brother, is also Jonas's wife. That's not even the kicker. Her children are also his children. At least the little girl is. Sarah is. So the whole time we're looking at Essie and Sarah, and up until this point we thinking, yo, they real bitter. Because Sarah is like, she wants the phone that Myyyyyy has, which is Jonas's daughter with Joyce. Sarah's like, she wants the phone that she has. Essie is kind of like admiring the life that Joyce has. And like, they seem to be like commiserating in misery together regarding Joyce and her daughter and her family and things like that. No wonder, because they're also his family, and he does not treat them the same as he treats Joyce. He doesn't even treat them the same as he treats Matipa. Matipa is technically the third wife and got it better than everybody else do. Or seemingly at first. Whatever. So, for the last 18 to 20 years, Jonas's brother Gesh has pretended to be Essie's husband and the father of Essie's kids. Which leads me to a question. How much love, respect, or even devotion would you need to have for a sibling for you to sacrifice, because let's call a thing, for you to sacrifice 18 to 20 years of your life pretending to be someone that you are not? Robbing yourself of the opportunity of having these things that your brother has times three, you don't even have once. Real quick, let's get back to Essie though. So Essie and Jonas's story is really like, probably if anyone if Jonas really loved anyone, it will probably be Essie, because he circled back to her. Essie paid for him to go to university so that he can be who he is now. While in university, or on his way to university, he's telling Essie, I'll be back every weekend. Essie's like, no, don't focus on you. I want you to be great. All of this other kind of stuff. But just come home or call me at the end of every semester. So Joseph was like, all right, cool. So he was doing that for a while, and then he stopped because, of course, why would he not? So it's been some time, and then Essie is doing hair, and she sees in a paper that Jonas got married to Joyce. So she is rightfully pissed off. So she goes on about her life. And then Jonas again, he could have been where he was at. Jonas pops up at her door with the car that he promised that he would get her. Again, he could have left it at that. Jonas then comes back and proposes to her, and they have a whole entire wedding ceremony. So, Essie is like, oh, I'm his wife. So Essie, we fast forward, Essie is pregnant, clearly pregnant. You can see Jonas and Essie doing shopping for baby clothes and baby stuff. Essie is looking at prices. She's like, this is too much. Jonas is like, it's cool. I got it. Throw it in a bag. They run into a young Joyce who is also equally pregnant. This man looks at his wife Joyce and says his wife Essie is his brother's wife, and he was helping out because his brother couldn't be there, so that's the only reason he's there helping her shop. So for the last 18-20 years, Joyce legitimately thought Essie was Gesh's wife, and the child that was born, Sarah, was really Gesh's daughter for 18 to 20 years. I don't know exactly how old they are, but we're going to say for 18 to 20. For 18 to 20 years, Essie has been in Joyce's face pretending to be someone that she's not. Add insult to injury, for the last 18 to 20 years, where I don't even understand how they have this much time in a day, Jonas will periodically stop by Essie's house to play house with them, and will tell Sarah, which is the daughter, basically don't post any content about me because nobody can know I'm your dad. So in the household between Gesh, Sarah, Essie, and Jonas, the four in Freedom, the five of them know the truth. Nobody else does, just the five of them. Could you imagine having to live a double life for so long? The mental anguish that it must be to be around your siblings who they think you're their cousin, but you know that they are your siblings, and to see them living a much better life and have all of the things it is that you want and desire, like out open freely, and you can't have any of it. That's wild. But anyway, fast forward, everything comes out. All the wives know about each other. Joyce is understandably pissed off at Essie because she's like, you've been in my face for all of this time and you knew this, and not once did you ever say anything to me. You could have said something to me. Because again, one thing for sure, two things for certain, Joyce is going to make sure her family stays together. She's also going to make sure, since Jonas, if you want to play, you also going to be accountable. You going to make all of this legal. Like since you want to be in everybody's face, we all need to just be one big family unit. Because it's in my opinion, I don't know this to be fact, but it's in my opinion that if Joyce had found out about Essie, Joyce would have made Jonas do the right thing. I'm just saying. But anyway, Jonas is now pissed off with Matipa, Joyce, and Essie. So he goes to find someone else to play with. Y'all know who he go find to play with? His daughter's friend, who's roughly between 18 and 20 years old. This little trollop, Lindani, is so excited about dealing with this mysterious older man. Like, she is literally in these people's home dealing with the dad. And the other part, the son, Myyyyyy, Jonas's son, has a crush on Lindani. And Jonas knows that. But instead of him doing the fatherly thing, he's like, yeah, son, you know what? She is nice. Let me get it. Myyyyyy is crushed when he sees Lindani and his father in the club, and Lindani is performing oral favors on his dad. Again, mind blown, crushed. Like what are we doing? That's the other thing. Jonas was wild and bold, like extremely bold in these streets. He did not care who saw him or anything. He was doing whatever it is that he wanted to do, slinging it all over the place. So fast forward, Lindani gets pregnant. Lindani ends up having a miscarriage. Joyce and Mpume are at the hospital with Lindani because I guess she called them after Jonas wasn't answering the phone. At this point, Mpume and Joyce don't know that Jonas is the father of this miscarried child. So because of everything that the family has gone through after this situation, Joyce is called Jonas and was like, listen, I'm taking the kids on holiday. Everybody has gone through a lot. Like, we just need to like decompress. She takes the kids, or Jonas thinks she took the kids on holiday, and decides it's a great idea to bring Lindani to his family and marital home to recover. They didn't end up going on, Joyce and the kids didn't end up going on holiday because Myyyyyy had a panic attack because his mind is still blown and like he's still wrecked by everything it is that he's seeing and experiencing between his dad and his crush. So they end up going back home. Joyce is like, you know what, guys, we can still have fun. Like, she's still like trying to be like super mom mode. So I think she was like going upstairs like to get changed and like decompress. But when she walks into her bedroom, she sees like clothes thrown on the bed. So she's like, what is going on here? She goes in the bathroom and Jonas is giving Lindani a bath. Joyce loses her shit. Joyce picks up a belt and starts whipping Lindani exactly how she needed to be whipped. While the chase is going on, because you got Jace chasing Lindani and then Jonas chasing Joyce to try to stop him from whipping on Lindani. Lindani runs downstairs, sees the two kids, tries to hide in between them. During this time, Matipa storms in and she's like, is this a trollop that gave me an STI? So again, this man is just slinging everything all over the place, not caring about anyone's health whatsoever. He's just all over. So you fast forward to Jonas again being angry at all of his wives, which causes him to lash out and be very violent to Joyce and very violent to Matipa. So much so that Jonas froze all of Matipa's accounts, so she can't afford to buy anything. Because of her frustration, she takes her girls to Joyce, because at this point, Joyce and Matipa is like, listen, it is what it is. We can either get along or keep this stupid back and forth, but he's still gonna be a hoe and he's still gonna do whatever. So Matipa is like, Joyce, do you mind watching the kids for a couple hours? Like, I have some errands to run. So she's like, cool. So Matipa's gone. You could already tell by the context clues Matipa wasn't coming back. But it's nightfall and they're like, well, where's Matipa? Well, the housekeeper comes up and was like, it's a note in the diaper bag. And basically Matipa's like, I need to start a new life and I can't do it being here, and Jonas ain't gonna let me do it, and I can't do it with kids. So Joyce, take care of my kids, please, and thank you. Audacity. But anyway, after Joyce finds out about Lindani, she kicks Jonas out for good this time with the help of his brother, because Jonas is pissed that his brother actually helped Joyce kick him out. He fires his brother from the company. So now Gesh is out of a job, out of his fake family. Gesh is kind of like left with nothing. So Jonas moves Lindani into the house that Matipa just moved out of. So him and Lindani are there. He gives Lindani his card. He's like, go buy something nice to wear because we got this party that we hosted and I want you to be hot. While Matipa is gone, we see this lady come to the door. This lady is like, oh, I'm looking for my friend Matipa. And Jonas is like, oh, well, basically she gone. So you can kind of like see her standing there like lingering and like trying to find an excuse to come in. And ultimately she's like, all right, well, can I have a glass of water before like I'm on my way? And again, because Jonas is a male garden tool, he couldn't let her just have the water and walk out the door and go on about her business. He had to freak her up and down too. We fast forward, guess what? She done gave Jonas the super bug. So we see Jonas is super sick, but he's refusing to take any medication. I'm assuming Lindani has it too, because you see her taking the medication and she's telling Jonas to do the same thing, but she's young, wild, and free. She's going on about her business. It progresses and Jonas ends up going to the hospital, and Joyce finds out about everything, and she's like, you know what, none of this matters, just come home, I'll take care of you. Joyce goes to pick Jonas back up from the hospital. Guess what? Jonas is gone. He went back home with Lindani. So Joyce, from like this point, is like, you know what, it is what it is. He can do whatever it is that he want to do, just leave me out of it. We fast forward from that, it's been about 2 years now. Joyce has written a book and she is at her book launch. We go back to Jonas and Lindani, and Jonas is worse. Jonas is bedridden. This man can't do nothing without help. So Lindani has something to do. She ain't feel like being bothered, but she ends up going into the room and sees that this man has defecated on himself. So she reluctantly gives him a shower, cleans him up, and they go to Joyce's book launch. This little trollop drops Jonas off in the middle of Joyce being happy now. Again, it's been 2 years since she's seen Jonas. She don't got to deal with none of the shenanigans. She's reacclimated to life because now she has her 2 kids and Matipa's 2 kids, and like they're trying to figure things out. And they go to Joyce's book launch, and Lindani is like, he's your problem now. I don't want him no more. Have fun with it. Joyce's flabber is gasted, and I completely understand why. So then it's the other things that are going on at this time as well. But to stay on track, I'm trying to get through this as fast as possible. So goes back to the family and marital home, and this is where Joyce has her diary of a mad black woman moment, because she reads Charles the riot act. She tells him, not Charles, good lord, Jonas the riot act, and tells him about himself, where he can go, how he can get there, and why he is where he is now. So we know Jonas is going down bad because he still refuses to take his medication. Essie knew that Jonas was sick and would occasionally stop by and bring him like some of his favorite foods to like make sure that he was eating and all this other kind of stuff. Essie went to Joyce's house to try to do the same thing, and Joyce is like, you can't step foot in here. So Joyce is like, Essie's like, well, can you at least give him the soup that I made? Like, it's his favorite. So Joyce reluctantly takes it, and then go and tell Mpume, go throw it down, go pour it down the sink, because it's from her. And no, I'm good. So anyway, we see Myyyyyy, Jonas's son, and kind of like everyone's starting to like soften and kind of seemingly being somewhat cool and calm a little bit. This final night, we see that Jonas is again rapidly declining, and he's telling Joyce that he's cold. So he asked her to get in the bed with him. So she did, and we can kind of see him trying to like cuddle him, and then like we cut to the funeral, or to after he's passed away. Child, the funeral in and of itself is crazy, because after he passes away, Essie goes to the morgue to like cleanse the body and take possession of the body. Essie has her own funeral that she had set up. This man is in the ground, y'all. Joyce finds out that Essie came and took the body, and that pisses Joyce off. So you know what Joyce did? Joyce called the cops, and she and some other friends went to the funeral, the active funeral that's happening. And this reminds me so much of Divorce in the Black. Because they take the body out the ground, bro. And Joyce is like, she has her own funeral, and she's telling Essie, you can't come to the funeral that I'm having for him. Crazy. So we get to Joyce's funeral that she's having for Jonas, and we see Essie and Sarah come in. They don't have any seats for them in the front, so Essie and Sarah goes and gets some chairs from the back and brings it up brings it up to the front. Mpume, because she's grown and like she's like a peacemaker now, because Sarah did some egregious stuff which I totally skipped over, but Sarah is not a sweet, innocent little thing either. But it's in this moment that Mpume is like, you know what, I want all my dad's kids to come up here. That includes you, Sarah. So now like Sarah like feels included. We go back to the night that Joyce is in the bed with Jonas, like his last night living, and she's telling Jonas, because I knew you, I'm the reason you're in the situation you're in now. So you pause and you like, remember that lady that Joyce met in jail that got the bug? Well, that's the lady that popped up at the door talking about she was Matipa's friend looking for Matipa. And because Joyce knew that Jonas don't know how to let a female walk by without trying to hump on her, she knew what was going to happen. So Joyce ultimately is the one that set the baby girl and Jonas up so that Jonas can get the bug. When I tell you Joyce played chess and not checkers, Joyce was like, I'm gonna play the long game, baby. I'm gonna play the super extra long game. But here is where the show leaves off. Lindani is outside crying, talking about my man, and she had to leave. A few minutes later, you see Myyyyyy leave, but they end up like meeting up in the spot. Lindani's fake tears are dried, and now she's trying to comfort Myyyyyy. Now, mind you, Myyyyyy had a crush on Lindani. Lindani wasn't checking for Myyyyyy because Lindani was too busy in Myyyyy's daddy's lap. Don't y'all know Myyyyyy is just like his dad and is getting it on with Lindani at his daddy's funeral? Bro, this show was wild. Again, this is going on way too long, and I know I skipped over some things, but if I went through everything, we would be here forever. I maybe should have done this in 2 parts, but bro, this show stressed me out. And again, it's been a week since I've watched it, and my life is still in shambles. But anyway, if you made it to the end of this, I appreciate you for sticking around. If you have any thoughts, if you have any feedback, please don't hesitate to let me know. Other than that, I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.